Alright, so Batman Annual Issue 1's up first. Normally I tell you who wrote and stuff, but obviously it's an anthology.
Yep.
So we'll point out some of the creative teams as we go, if I remember to. And I'm going to let my cat in. Someone start talking about the first story.
All right.
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's interesting that we've just been talking about Christmas, and this book is generally pretty Christmas themed.
Yep. Each of the stories centers around an aspect of the holiday.
Yeah, all of it's Christmas themed actually. I'm pretty sure everyone is.
Yeah.
I just hedge my bets just in case one of them isn't. This was the first book I read. I read it quite early this week. Shocker for me, I know. But
Yeah. Right.
I was just thinking maybe one of them wasn't, and I just thought just to be safe, I'll hedge my bets.
I read both of these on Wednesday morning. It was
What is
Stop
not
coming in
doing?
at odd angles. For the audio listeners, he went to go let his cat out, and now he's coming in sideways.
No.
And it's messing with me.
I'm letting my cat back in, and because he just sits and stares at me through the door, I need to wait until he comes in before I can shut the door. So I'm.
Pick him up and pull him in.
No, see, he runs if you're trying. He's smart. He knows what you like. He predicts the game plan and he reacts accordingly.
This is not the comics talk I signed up for.
He's like Batman.
Anyways, the first story is by art by Finch and story by King.
Yep.
And I thought it was gonna be tragic when it started because it involves Christmas dogs that were owned by the Joker. And well, not Christmas dogs, but dogs that were owned by the Joker.
No, this was like the most heartwarming thing
Oh yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
But see, where it started, I thought more Cujo and less Christmas Pup. So Batman finds these dogs that the Joker had used earlier in the year as part of one of his schemes, and we see it the Ace marked dog because they all kind of have the card suits to them.
Yeah, because Joker.
Because it's Joker, right? And you see it attacking Batman in, like, I think it's July, August.
September.
Or September? Okay.
Yep.
That was close. But Bat comes across them around Christmas, and the Ace dog he killed the other two because Joker left them. It's kind of a joke it's put out there. You know, survival of the fittest. Which now has definitely made me like Joker a lot less, which I know we're not supposed to like him. You know, people with soft spots for villains.
Before Matt was ready to vote him into office. I mean, but now.
Well,
Not now.
anyone but what we have now. But hey, but like, I guess I'm okay with Joker killing people, but once you add animals to it, that's where I'm kind of like, I can't support this anymore. You know.
To be fair, that's also the line for movies, isn't it? You can kill people, and no one cares. It's not emotional. You kill one dog, and that's it. Yeah. Everyone loses their shit.
Yeah. I was on Michael Myers' side until he killed the dog, and what one was that?
It was the first one.
Pretty early. Yeah.
The first one. Yeah.
Pretty early in there. So, but yeah, so Batman takes in this dog, and there's a series of kind of funny events of him dealing with this savage dog.
Well, it's worth noting it's not really him that's dealing with the dog, though. He is getting the effects of it, but it's actually Alfred that's keeping the dog around. And Alfred, despite the dog still being kind of vicious and still being kind of angry, Alfred's trying to break him down. And and it ends, of course, in Christmas, and like it comes up. You know, Bruce says it's okay, you didn't get me a present, Alfred, and Alfred gives a little, like, you know, catty line about, oh, you'll never learn, or some dogs will never learn, or something like that. But basically the whole idea is that
King's Alfred keeps up his witty.
Yeah.
It's he walks away and he goes, "World's greatest detective, indeed."
Yeah, that was it. I knew it was a catty line. I also read this on like early Wednesday morning. Like as soon as the books went up, I was like, right, Batman and Superman annuals read. But no, so the whole idea here. I was gonna say the whole idea here, of course, is that Alfred has done with this dog what he kind of also did with Bruce. He took in someone who was broken by the events that they had no control over, and he nursed them back to some sort of sense of normality. And as a perfect companion for Batman. So, that's heartwarming, touching. I like it.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments was early on when they have the dog. Bruce goes down to get his breakfast, or comes up to get his breakfast, and the dog's on the table, growling at him in the face. And Alfred, this is not my breakfast. That's where I went, world's greatest detective, indeed. Like, but there's just a series of. This is the type of Batman I like when King writes, where he can add some comedy in there, because Batman's usually such dark subject matter. And Like the series that we see of Alfred getting tackled by the dog as he's training it, and he's wearing like the big padded suit.
Yeah.
And Batman's on the back computer, and it's over a series of days, and he's talking about all the different schemes the villains are pulling, and each time that the dog's getting closer to taking down Alfred, that made me chuckle too. So,
yeah.
But like Pete said, it was a nice, heartwarming story.
Joe, I think because it's such a heavy like Batman story we've got in the main book right now, the annual taking this time to give us all these little short Christmas themed stories, and most of them for the most part are actually very heartwarming and kind of uplifting. It's nice that you can have that with Batman as well. It doesn't have to always be heavy. Because King's first arc had a lot of humour in it. Maybe not specifically this kind of humour, but there was.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think it was this kind of humour. It was mostly played from Alfred's point of view as well, like the humour.
Yeah.
Oh, true, but this revolves around the humour almost, is what I mean.
Well, yeah. But it's very similar type of humour. It's all like Alfred being very dry.
Yeah. Whereas, obviously, in the first arc, there was a whole actual core story going on that wasn't humorous, so that was...
Yeah.
Whereas here, the whole thing is the humour and the heart and stuff. The second story is written by Scott Snyder and Ray Fox. It's called Silent Night, Declan Shelby on the art. And this is just a story of how Batman takes a moment to enjoy a street performance where he thinks there might be an incident about to happen.
He's ready to tackle them all and arrest them, but... I like the just wait moment.
Yeah. And by the way, this is easily the best Batman story that Scott Snyder's written in a while.
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll probably agree with that.
Yeah, no, I thought, again, it was a nice little moment where he just takes a moment on Christmas to appreciate something a little bit more fun.
This is definitely more in the spirit of his last issue he did on Batman proper, to where it's kind of like Batman's night off.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is kind of in that spirit where I like what they did with the, like... Is it supposed to be like the digital representation of all this sound? Is that what that was?
Yeah, because he's got this scanner thing that's scanning for different, crimes or whatever going on and whatnot.
So, and it keeps jumping back to there, and each one gets a little bit, lit up more. And then, of course, at the end, it's the bat symbol, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Symbolic. But kind of a nothing story. It was really told in the art more than anything, which was good.
Yeah, I thought the art was fantastic as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, art was really good, and I think it's allowed to be a nothing story when it's you've got like a 8 to 10 page thing that's just a nice little moment.
Yeah, have some Christmas cheer.
Yeah, and actually, I really like that this is a Christmas collection of stories. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if Batman Noel wasn't already taken, this would have been a nice little subtitle.
Yeah.
For this.
I can see that.
So.
The third story is Not So the Silent Night of the Harley Quinn. Is written by Paul Dini. Neil Adams is on the art.
Yeah.
Do you not mean the Not So Silent Night?
Don't know what I said.
Yeah.
You said Not So the Silent Night.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Either way, if Harley's involved, it's not going to be quiet.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. That's the point.
I just wanted it to make grammatical sense. That's all.
No, it's just because the way the Not So's. I didn't get there that it was inserted in between the and the silent. I do apologise.
Good.
And I think this just speaks to Dini as a writer and the creator of the character. This is the most I've enjoyed Harley Quinn in quite some time. Like, I feel he gets the voice of her better than most. And I'm probably being biased because I don't typically read Harley.
Well, I damn sure liked this more than that issue one I read of her own series.
As did I, Pete. And again, not much happens here, but I love what does happen. So, especially the play between Harley and Batman. And again, Harley's doing most of the heavy lifting because Batman has picked her up from trying to bring a pudding to the she wasn't taking it to Arkham, was she? It was to the police station.
Yeah, the police station.
Yeah, she was. It was a gift for all the police officers. Yeah.
And then it explodes, and it's kind of like she's like,
what do you expect?
Yeah.
I'll admit though, I did think this was on the weaker side of like all the stories as a whole. Like, I thought this was fine. It was a lot heartwarming. Obviously, the nice endings that Batman actually took her all the way back home instead of just dropping her off.
Connie. Yeah. But I like all the music going through that she's singing, and like she starts with Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, which I like.
Yeah, I give it a good smile.
In that world. Yeah. And she goes, "Oh, you don't know that one? Okay." And then she switches to another one, and each of the song kind of has a theme to what they're passing, and it's again a quiet night in Gotham, and it's almost like all the crime is kind of on hold because of the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
And they're witnessing like acts of kindness between citizens. So I like that. I like that. I wouldn't put it on the weaker end of them, but I thought I might just be biased because it's Dini, and I like when he writes in Gotham.
I mean, I liked it. I don't think it was a. I don't know. I feel like I got more out of the first couple. Like, if we're going just in order, like of the 3 so far, like I feel like I got a little bit more out of the first 2 than this
I feel like this is out of the 3. This would probably be my second.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's move on to the 4th one, because the 4th one is probably the first one that's not uplifting by the ending, because this teases a new villain for next year.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, yes, it does.
This is Steve Orlando writing and Riley Rosmo on the art. It's called Stag, and Stag is this new villain that they're teasing for 2017. And the story of this one, it starts off fairly heartwarming. Basically, this rich guy puts on this show for the kids every Christmas, and this what was the villain called? The freeze guy who shows up.
Mr. Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Minister Blizzard.
Minister Blizzard.
Minister Blizzard shows up to try and... There's a goofy villain, Batman saves the day, and, once again, the guy's done a nice thing for the kids of Gotham.
I love how there's just another ice-themed villain.
And there's so many of them at this point in DC.
Yeah.
Killer Frost,
Icicle,
Mr. Freeze, Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Isn't that someone called Icicle as well at some point? I feel like it was. Yeah.
Icicle.
Yeah.
It was a JSA villain.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
but I like that the old guy, I forget his name, that he's been doing this, for as longer than Bruce has been alive.
Yeah, because he's really old. Yeah, he's been doing this since he was a young man. Yeah.
And he's so, I don't know if it's because he's old or just kind of not taking Gotham villain serious, that Minister Blizzard's been sending him notes and emails that this was going to happen, but he kind of just blew it off. I was like, man, you've lived in Gotham your entire life. Like, you don't take this type of stuff lightly.
He should move to Metropolis. That's where that hope pays off. In Gotham, maybe,
But, Batman shows up, and I like that Bruce is like, my mother really looked up to him, to this guy, and he's one of the billionaires that's made that pledge to give away the majority of his money by the time he dies to enrich the future of Gotham and the world. But just when you think it's going to be hopeful and uplifting, Orlando punches you right in the chest.
Yeah, the guy gets murdered by this new villain.
Yep. By Stag.
It looks pretty cool. It looks proper creepy.
Yeah.
Does.
So are we thinking that this is the new order of Batman, that we'll get like a King arc and then an Orlando arc like they did with Monster Men? Or is this going to be if this is going to be in a different book?
I think, obviously Orlando did Monster Men, but that was a crossover. So I wonder if this is set up for the next crossover, or perhaps a Bat book we don't know about yet.
Or, I mean, it could just be Orlando got the dibs on writing the introduction. It could just be a King arc that's coming next year.
It could also. Orlando's doing JLA, right?
Yeah, so he's got 3 issues a month, so he's quite busy.
Yeah, but is Batman
if he already has
on that team?
Batman is kind of there on that team, yeah.
He's like the team putting them together sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it plays into that. Who knows? Because it doesn't specifically say what book it's coming in. It just says
I'm just saying,
it's coming in 2017.
I like Orlando's Batman, so I don't care where it's going to pop up. If Orlando's writing it, if he came up with a story idea. Because for all we know, he plotted it, and King could still write it,
Yeah, that's true.
Now maybe it says something to me that was my favourite one of the book, because it was the only one that was depressing, but it was my favourite one of the book.
You do live the most north of any of us, so
I think
you're used to the darkness.
I think it's just because it was a proper gut punch. He properly like the first 2 were really uplifting. I really liked them for that, but this one properly twisted the knife. It was like, but there's still darkness in Gotham, and it's it was a good tease. So, I'm excited about this villain now.
What's your favorite Christmas movie, Pete? Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No, come on, don't be ridiculous. Black Christmas.
Oh, Black Christmas. That's right. Excuse me, silly me.
Nah, it's probably Die Hard if I'm honest, but I know you wanted that joke, so
Yeah.
I'll give you it.
Yes. So, yeah, I threw you the layup, but yeah, no, it was nice. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting the gut punch because, like we said, the first three were kind of like, oh, the joys of the holiday time, and this one's like, oh, you like that? Here, I'm gonna kill the nice billionaire.
Do you know what's even worse about that? He doesn't even like slit his throat. It's across his forehead.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really vicious, because, I don't know, it seems worse. Like, at least across the throat, you think, oh, that's quick, you know. It's almost mercy killing, almost, in terms of if you're going to kill someone like that. It's quick.
Yeah,
but
it's quite sinister.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's going to scalp him and, you know, go for more.
Maybe he'll find a maze in the scalp.
Ah, exactly.
That's the real game, right?
Yeah. Although this last story in the book looks like nothing to me. No, okay.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that.
I'll break the Westworld jokes. This was the only one I didn't really like all that much.
Yeah,
was the last too. One. It's called The Insecurity Diversion, and it's written by Scott Bryan Wilson. It's got art by, I'm going to butcher this name again, but Bilquis Evely. She was the one that did Wonder Woman issue 8. That would look really good. So
and is taking over after Scott has the year one done. So that said, I did really like the art. I just wish the story wasn't so haphazard.
Yeah, the art's really good. Batman in the Snow looks great.
There's that panel where there's all the fear gas and he's flown out and it's all the purple and he's got the gas mask on. That looks fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me at the end of the story when he sort of tricks, it's one of Scarecrow's old like not henchmen, but
but I feel they were running buddies because they're so equal. Although I don't understand how Haunt works because she gets your DNA and kills you with it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah. So obviously he catches her and Scarecrow at the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just Batman's dialogue at the end of the issue felt oddly vindictive against him, which I know maybe sounds weird to say, but it did. It sounded like extra cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like crippling anxiety for like 6-8 hours tops. It's like, really, you're gonna punish them extra? Like they're going to Arkham anyway, clearly. Also,
when it looks like Haunt's killed Batman, he's laying in the snow with a smile, like, got him.
Yeah.
I thought that was weirdly out of place. So yeah, it felt definitely like Snyderverse Batman, to where he's like, "Yeah, you know what I love for Christmas? Freezing people."
Yeah, legitimately the only one I didn't like, and honestly, out of 5 stories, I like 4. 3 I really liked. Yeah. So I mean, that's a pretty good going, I think.
That is good odds for an anthology. I typically expect to maybe like half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, did you guys catch Ventriloquist with the sock puppet?
I did. That was a funny little thing.
That cracked me up, and I don't know why, but I'm just like, oh, at least it's not a murderous gangster. It's just Socko the sock puppet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So, but yeah, that's the Batman annual. I thought it was a good first annual. It was nice and Christmas themed, and I like most of it. So
it was mostly pretty solid.
And the ones that seem more relevant to continuity as well, which is mainly the Stag story, because that's actually setting up a villain for later, was really strong. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.